All right. I was sitting back thinking about even more so how the sexual revolution is over and has ended with a kind of whimper rather than a bang. So I was thinking about it along these lines because this is actually a pretty serious thing to ask. How many people have known of people who spent pretty much their entire youth drugged up on pharmaceuticals? See, this is one of the reasons why there's going to be no backing down from the MAGA and America First and Trump agenda, ending the teachers union, ending federal Department of Education. It can't be overhauled unless it's made to actually give certain universal standards that are abso-fucking-lute. Otherwise, it's just not worth anything. One of the things about this is, I mean, we've seen, especially, it really wasn't the dads. We kept finding that over and over and over again. I mean, just look at Jazz Jennings' dad. That this was clearly a man who had been just absolutely broken by these demented women around him. And then he broke his kid. The demented women broke his kid. And a lot of people need to hear that, understand that we know that one day there's going to be very, very well-studied psychological surveys, and we're going to find out. Women like to break their fucking kids. It's the only thing they have power over. Without sort of the wisdom from a cultural tradition that what you're trying to do is to prepare your child for eternity, which is the idea with Christianity, is that it's not that all lessons ideally are being to prepare the soul for eternity, is the idea. And so when you have fundamentally a new tradition based on kind of a secular outcome, which is really a weird thing to think about in this regard. The secular outcome, even despite Karl Marx, is get as much as you can and fuck them. Fuck them all. Get as much as you can and fuck them all. Because Karl Marx wouldn't have thought capitalism is what he says it is unless he had that mentality. Well, now most people kind of have that mentality if they're secularists. They don't have an eternity to work toward. There's no reason to really make yourself a better person. That's why be a better person if there's not really a judge at the end of it, if there's not a score, like, oh, you were really bad. Now you burn forever. No, now you're disposed of like sticks in a fire. There you go. And you're blotted out of the book of life in the Jewish terminology. With the Messiah saying Gehenna as the structure of that idea, the burning pit, the local, you get thrown in the burning dump is really what it is. It was a dump over the wall, and so it was just something I've been thinking about, that because men in the West were bred to believe in eternity and to prepare for eternity. This is actually even the basis of pre-Christian Aristotelian virtue. What would be the point if virtue was a denarii? Was why anyone could get that, whether virtuous or not. So you're preparing for eternity. Now, if there's no goal in having kind of children so as to prepare them for eternity, then you're kind of just having kids to acquire them in the secular sense. So you could see why people are then like, well, so why do I want kids? What? Because they're not being told it'll make you happy. They just emanate joy. They just do that. That's not what you're being sold. You're being sold that, you won't be boss babe, bad bad B. You know, you won't have stuff. You know, you won't have things. And so, this is just something I'm thinking about. You know, that the secular modernist worldview, really, it exposed a lot about the way, really, what Karl Marx actually held in a value. Really, no, like, remember, he knew about Christianity, and he rejected it. And what did he keep asking people for? Money. So, that's just where my head's at for a moment. Money or love? It's an old Jamaican song. All right, later.